every Hilton Grand Vacation resort is not created equal. So we thought that because we had seen the Alara in Las Vegas and those pictures were just wow. It was just a gorgeous resort. We thought that the resorts at Myrtle Beach would be of the same caliber as that one, right? So we went to the Doubletree, Myrtle Beach, and we drove up on it. It was quite spacious. I mean, it was a big resort. So it was like, wow, this is big. But here's the thing, and I'll get to the point. There were a lot of things about that resort that we did not like so much, and so we left early. We left right after our sales presentation. Hello everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Suzette Vearnon, and I am redefining my 60s on my own terms, and hoping that by doing so, I inspire you to do the same. So thank you so very much to those who have subscribed, those who have been liking my content and been following me. I appreciate you. And if this is your first time, check out my other episodes. And if you like what you see, I would love it if you would subscribe and tell a friend and all of that. It will really do a lot for getting this information out to people that can use it. Today I'm going to talk about Hilton Grand Vacations Resort. It was the Doubletree, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. My husband and I went on September 14th of 2025. It was a promotion. We got a cold call. We've been Hilton Honors members for a while. We got a cold call inviting us to take advantage of an offer where for a very nominal amount of money, we could have a 4-day, 3-night exclusive vacation at a Hilton Grand Vacation Resort in exchange for us attending a sales presentation. So we were like, oh, this would be great. Well, actually, no, let me change it. Because back at that time, they did not say it was a timeshare. Because I asked specifically when I was contacted. I said, is this a timeshare? And she says, no, this isn't a timeshare. This is not a timeshare. We want you to go. We just want you to show you the property. And even if you like it, then, hey, we know that you will probably tell other people about it. They can come too. And I said, well, yeah, that's true. That's true. If I like somewhere, I said, I will blow it up and I'll tell people about it. She said, good enough. She says, but no, this is not about a timeshare. Okay? Well, first of all, I will tell you, she lied about that. It was about a timeshare. The sales presentation that we were to participate in was most definitely about a timeshare. Now, where she didn't lie was it was a 4-day, 3-night vacation at a Hilton resort. She did not lie about that. What we did find out, though, is every Hilton Grand Vacation Resort is not created equal. We thought that the pictures that we saw online, when we were comparing the different resorts, different areas, because we could have gone to Las Vegas, and there were different places we could have gone. And at first we were going to go to Las Vegas. But then we started thinking about travel and everything. We're like, well, why should we spend money on a plane ticket to go to a resort in Las Vegas when we could just drive to Myrtle Beach, which isn't but about a 3-hour and some change trip from where we live. So we decided to do that instead. So we thought that because we had seen the Alara in Las Vegas and those pictures were just wow. It was just a gorgeous resort. we thought that the resorts at Myrtle Beach would be of the same caliber as that one, right? So we went to the Doubletree, Myrtle Beach, and we drove up on it. It was quite spacious. I mean, it was a big resort. So it was like, wow, this is big. But here's the thing, and I'll get to the point. There were a lot of things about that resort that we did not like, so much and so we left early. We left right after our sales presentation. So these are a few things that I want to say. If you are considering booking at the Doubletree, Myrtle Beach, on Ocean Boulevard, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm going to share about our experience. Okay? Our experience. First of all, the pictures of it are not wrong, but the angles make things look different than when you actually get there. And I've learned you can take pictures at an angle to make anything look bigger than what it is, grander than what it is, to make the rooms look better than they are. You can do that. And we fell for it. We fell for that when we went to this particular resort. So, yeah, that was a biggie for us. First thing that was difficult was figuring out where to park in proximity to where our room was. That was the first thing. It was a big resort. And first we had to figure out where to park. And we had difficulties figuring out exactly where that was because they said, oh, just go park down here. Well, here's the thing. The Doubletree Myrtle Beach is right beside another resort that kind of share common space. It almost looks like they're almost the same thing because they're side by side. You can walk right out of one and you're into another, and you don't even know actually that you've left one and gone into the other. So it was confusing figuring out where to park. It was a parking deck that went up several levels. The good thing was you could park at the very level that your hotel room was. You could park, go right on your floor, walk out of your hotel room, and go right to the parking deck without having to go down the elevator. If you could find a parking space where your floor is. That was good because then you didn't have to lug your luggage, a lot, the elevator and all that. But figuring out how to park when it was detached from the main location, it was just confusing. The way it was laid out was confusing. And they gave us a map, drew a line, and told us where to go. But it was still very confusing. It really, really was. The second thing was I was used to my hotel room and the office and the amenities and everything being in the same building. Wasn't true. And I guess, duh, Suzette, it's a resort. But I did not like walking down a breezeway going into my room down a breezeway where you're practically outdoors. And I wasn't used to that, to be honest with you. I've stayed at various places. I've stayed at resorts where the rooms and all of that are inside of a bigger building, and you just can walk from building to building because the buildings are connected. It's palatial, it's huge, but it's connected, or it has a pergola or something that connects it. You don't have like 3 or 4 buildings, one building for one thing, one building for another thing, and you got to figure it all out. Maybe I'm just, late to the party, but that was true. So anyway, I didn't like that because to me, it just cheapened it. You go down this breezeway, and you see the cleaning people pushing the cart down the breezeway, and they're standing outside, and you're outdoors. When you leave your room, you're basically in an open air breezeway. And for me, I didn't feel safe because it wasn't well lit. If I wanted to go somewhere after dark, I did not feel as comfortable because you're walking down a dark breezeway to an elevator that's got to go down, make a turn, get in the elevator, go down it, and you come out in the parking lot and got to find your way from that building to where the restaurant is, which is in another building, and the guest services is in another building, and the public area where the games and the activities is in a whole nother building, and you got to walk outside and down the way to get to it. I did not like that. Now, the room itself. It was a dated Doubletree. So advice I can give you is when you're getting ready to go to a Hilton Grand Vacation resort, inquire about when it was built. That will tell you a lot. Some things have been refurbished and restored, and it gives it this sense of charm, cozy, boutique, and you have that warm feeling. Other places are older, might have been something different, and it's been changed into a hotel, drafty. The old air conditioning units are not centralized. The air conditioner makes noise. Lots of things can happen. So what I would say to you, which is what I learned, ask when it was built. Ask if it's new. Ask if it's modern. If it's been upgraded, ask when it was upgraded. Ask questions. Go online, Facebook groups, Instagram. Before you book, inquire about the property so that you have a better understanding. Go to YouTube, see if anybody's left a review about the property before you book. Because once you book, my understanding is once you've secured it, unless there are qualifying reasons to cancel, if you don't go, you lose the money that you paid to book it. So do your due diligence. That's what I would say. Now, when I walked into the room, this was a first for me. That room was so dusty. There was dust everywhere. That made me wonder if anybody had been in that room for a very long time. The dust was thick on the furniture to the point I would not put anything down. My husband will tell you, I immediately started taking Kleenexes and started dusting. I went in the bathroom, got paper towels, dampened them, used some of my hand sanitizer, and I started wiping stuff off because the dust was thick. The room was tidy, but the dust was thick. And when I went over to the air conditioner, it was one of those wall unit air conditioners. That dust on that air conditioner, where the vents are on the air conditioner, were thick with dust and dead insects. I lie not to you. I lie not to you. It was so bad, I went to cleaning. And I don't usually do that. I'm not a germaphobe. The second thing was when I got in the bed. I'm sensitive to detergents. I've learned that. It's not necessarily that there are bed bugs or fleas or anything like that, lice or anything like that. I am sensitive to detergents. Like, for instance, I can't use Tide detergent. It's just too strong. I can't use Purex detergent. There's something in it that causes my skin to itch, right? The first night sleep, I didn't sleep well at all. I did good if I got 2 hours of uninterrupted sleep. I kept waking up. I was miserable. The air quality wasn't good. I was itchy. I don't know. It was almost like the AC, because I tried to dust as much as I could, but it was almost like the AC was making it something in the air that made it difficult. I was itchy. I was congested. I did not feel good. But because we knew that we had to go to the sales presentation so that we would not be billed for the rooms, because that was the agreement. In exchange for us getting a discounted rate, we had to go to the sales presentation. So we went to the sales presentation. But right after that, we left. The sales presentation was in one building, and they took us to one of their newer properties. It was called the Ocean Enclave. Gorgeous place. And we were thinking, gee, they should have booked us here. But anyway, that's a video for another time. But I just wanted to give you an unbiased review on the Doubletree Myrtle Beach, so that if you are offered this property, you do not stay. And when we complained about the property, the people that we complained to at the sales presentation did not seem surprised. As a matter of fact, they knew the one we were talking about. And one of the people explained to us that sometimes, even though Hilton has a great reputation, sometimes franchise owners do not put their money into maintaining the properties in a way that would be preferred, or would be at the status that is what Hilton is built upon. So then the bathroom. The vanity, the sink for the bathroom, and the vanity area was outside the bathroom. It was in the same room as your bed. Then you went through a door and you had the toilet and the shower. And it was small, it was cramped, there was no fan there. The light was in a peculiar area. If I recall, you had to leave the door open to have some light. Let me think. No, I'm sorry. No, you didn't. But the light was in an awkward place. It was very dated. Very dated. It was just not a great resort. Now, the main area where the registration, guest services, the on-site restaurant, That part was pretty nice. When we would walk from our room to the resort area, between buildings and all that, what we saw when we were walking was like broken down games, like a broken down foosball table, um, um, billiard table, um, ping pong. When we passed by, it's like things were stored underneath the building, and you had different like old game stuff underneath there, all willy nilly. It wasn't neat. It was some of the games were broken. Um, Outdoors, we saw one couple playing ping pong on one of the tables, and I was just like, boy, y'all are either brave or desperate. And this was apart from the actual landscape. The landscaping was nice, and there were beanbag tosses out there, things like that where you could play out there on the green. But I'm talking about underneath the buildings. When we were walking from where we were staying, our hotel room, to the main guest office registration area, we could look underneath the building and see broken games. Oh, it wasn't cool. And then of course Doubletrees have that market, right? So we went to the market and walked outside the market and were looking out on the grounds, and you could see the trucks backing up to the restaurant, um, trash cans. Certain places were quite smelly. Um, there were outdoor pools. There was an indoor pool also, but the outdoor pools were where people normally were. We looked outside and we could see like the palm tree branches in the water. Um, Granted, by the next day somebody had gotten them out of the pool water, but just the fact that they fell into the pool, maybe that couldn't be avoided, but stuff like that. It was near a pier where people were fishing. In order for you to go down the pier, you had to either pay or you had to have some kind of armband or token or something so that you could have access to go on the pier. If you didn't have that, you couldn't go out on the pier. Yeah. From the outside, it looked like a nice place, but there were a lot of different things that were not that cool. The on-site restaurant was good. However, the salad was just a plain iceberg lettuce salad. I've gotten kind of used to spring mix salads. Just call me bougie. I tell people I'm one of the bougiest country people you'll ever meet. But I just say I'm used to quality. It was iceberg lettuce in a bowl. They did have outdoor seating, but the flies got to the point that we just went inside to sit down. The people were very, very nice in that area. Very sweet, very helpful, very nice. When we told them we had a sales presentation that we had to get to by 11:15, they hurried and made sure that we got served and everything so we could get out in time. So that was good. Like I said, the main office, the registration office, where the meeting rooms were, where the on-site restaurant was, where the common areas were. There was a bar near there, where guest services, where you register. I'm sorry, member services, where you register, get booked, scheduled, all that. That building was nice. But it was very difficult navigating, figuring out what building different things were in, how to access it. Those things were challenging. There was another resort, like I said, right next door. And if you didn't know, you'd think they were the same resort. They were both Hilton Grand Vacation resorts, but they were side by side. The good thing was that other resort, to me, was a better resort. It had the big giant slide for the kids. And so we could go through that gate and we could hang out there if we wanted to, like be at the outdoor pool. It was more family friendly and all of that. It was cleaner. It was more modern. It was nicer. So yeah, I want to do this so that you would know about that particular property. And if you have any other questions, if there's anything that I share that needs clarity, please feel free to put it in the comment section. And I promise you, I read the comments. And if you like the video, give me the thumbs up. If you like what I'm putting down, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you get updated whenever I drop a new episode. So yeah, I will see you in the next episode.